Welcome to episode number 24 of the Between Two Brands podcast. We're hurtling into summer, aren't we? And so I want to thank you for joining me today. I'm your host, Bill Petrie. And before we get started, and I think we have a really, really great show for you today. Want to pay a bill or two? That's what we do here. Hey, there's so much good coming from our friends over at Bell Promo these days. Here's just a few things. Lowest minimums in the industry? Yeah, you can Bell Promo that. Deepest inventory around? Oh yeah, you can absolutely Bell Promo that. 5-star and A+ service? Hell yes, you can Bell Promo that. 2-day production on most of their products? You know you can Bell Promo that. And if that weren't enough, and gosh knows it should be, the good folks at Bell Promo have a few other things to share. Made in the USA merchandise? Yeah, you can Bell Promo that too. Free shipping on tech and apparel products? Yeah, you can Bell Promo that. We invite you over here at the Between Two Brands podcast to head over to bellpromo.com to see all of their amazing merchandise and feel confident that when your client asks you to create branded merchandise that's available with low minimums, with 2-day production, you can tell them, I could Bell Promo that. All right, so for the little preamble, I guess that's what I'm calling this now. For the little preamble on the podcast this week, I thought I'd do something on AI. AI is a topic we talk a lot about in our industry. I was recently at the Kaiser and Blair Sales Leadership Summit and gave a keynote to all the folks there on some tools to use to help them become more efficient in their day and get more time. We talk a lot about those tools, but I don't think we get the results enough. And so I found a white paper from a place called Search Engine Journal, where they about the state of AI marketing. And so they surveyed 1,000 marketers across a variety of industries, and they're really looking at a few things. Which AI tools are the most broadly adopted among marketers? How marketers are using AI? The results they're seeing, the challenges they face, and where they plan to invest next. And so, out of all of that, they came up with 6 key findings. And I thought I'd share them here as we're all hurt. The velocity of change is insane, especially in the AI space. And it's something we need to understand what's working and what's not working. So, I really thought this was a pertinent thing to talk about. The first thing, no surprise here. Chat GPT is absolutely dominating. 83% of the marketers surveyed said that that platform has positively impacted their efficiency and effectiveness. I know here with what I do, it's absolutely helped me, and it's my best brainstorming tool. I don't have it write blogs, I don't have it write content. I still feel very personally attached to that, but it is an incredible tool for collaboration. Number 2 finding. Content has seen the most tangible impact from AI. 65% experience value with content creation, 44% with content optimization, and 44% with idea generation. Now, to me, where it falls with me is idea generation. I still think there are some limitations. I'm going to get to that in a minute. It's very interesting. I still think there's some limitations with AI. And so I still want to retain overall control over that. So, third finding. Again, this wasn't a surprise, but the number shocked me a little bit. Time savings was the most improved outcome. 77% of the respondents reported time savings of an hour or more a day. In a era where we are stretched very thin, we are doing more than ever. We have our fingers in every pot. We are multiple tasks we're juggling. We're multitasking as much as we know that's not great. We're doing it anyway. If you can save an hour a day, that is an absolute gift. And I found that using some AI tools to help me has absolutely made me a much more efficient marketer and a much better marketer, a much more effective marketer. Number 4, there's a direct ROI. Direct ROI links, linked results are lacking. I think we know that. So it's great for streamlining how we work. I don't think anybody would argue that. AI is fantastic for streamlining the way we work, but it's not improving what we deliver without human oversight and strategy. And that's why I just mentioned a few minutes ago, when it comes to content creation, I retain that control. Now, when it comes to brainstorming, it makes things go much faster in terms of getting my creative juices flowing. It's like having a partner here that I pay $20 a month for in terms of for Chat GPT. So I really think that it's still very much AI is garbage in, garbage out, whether you're using ChatGPT, whether you're using Midjourney or DALL-E, or there's a million of AI companies out there. It very much is in garbage in, garbage out. And so it needs that human oversight and human intervention and strategy to be effective. Number five, the biggest concern, quality. 54% said the biggest limitation is inaccurate, unreliable, or inconsistent output. Again, that's why right now I think AI tools, it is one of the best idea generators, one of the best collaborators, if not the best collaborator, and I stand by that. When it comes to actual creation, there are still limitations. There might always be limitations. I don't know. But right now, there are limitations. ChatGPT makes mistakes. And so you really want to rely on that human involvement. And last one, the number one concern. So quality is a big concern, but the number one concern, and I think we all probably know this without even saying it, misinformation. That is even bigger than the concern of job loss, which I know as we entered this AI age, that was the first thing we all, I think, kind of feared is, wow, I'm going to be replaced. One of the things I shared at the Sales Leadership Summit, and I believe I got this from David Schultz from commonsku, so I want to give credit where credit is due. Your job and your clients will not be replaced by AI. However, your job and your clients will be replaced by someone who's using AI. So if you're still on the fence, if you're scared of AI, and it is a little daunting, it is a little intimidating, if you're still scared, now's the time to educate yourself. Now's the time to get involved and start dipping your toe in the water. Because if you don't leverage these tools, I'm telling you, you're going to get passed by. And we'll continue to monitor how AI is being used in marketing. And these are being used by our clients. And so the more we understand how our clients are using them, the better we can be at sharing how tangible branded merchandise is still an exceptionally effective tool when it comes to getting a communication point across. Hey, before we get to our guest, and I love our guest today, just a great, great human. Let me share one last thing with you. Many people know how to build a business. A lot of us know how to build a business, but few of us understand how, not only when to sell that business, but the process involved to ensure that you find the right partner to maximize the return on your investment. That's where you need an expert, specifically an expert in the branded merchandise space. To help you. And this is where our good friends at Certified Marketing Consultants come in. Jamie Watson and her team literally have decades of experience facilitating private company sales in the promotional products industry. To help you evaluate if it's time to sell your business, reach out to CMC at info@certifiedmarketing.com for a confidential discussion today. And hey, if you're going to be at ASI Chicago in a couple of weeks, reach out to Jamie. She'd be happy to meet with you confidentially in Chicago. She'll be there. Her email is Jamie, Jamiew, at certifiedmarketing.com. All right, enough about me. Let's see who's behind the curtain. My first, my only, and last guest today needs zero introduction, but please allow me to waste just a moment of your Friday by doing so anyway. He is the co-owner of Brand Fuel, a proud certified B Corporation. He serves on the PPAI board and co-founded Band Together, which is sitting over his right shoulder if you're watching on video, a nonprofit that has donated over $15 million to nonprofits in the Raleigh-Durham area using community building power of live music. He serves on the board of A Place at the Table, a pay where you can cafe. Been there, it's fantastic. And as an advisor to Gabby's Pals, a nonprofit that empowers people with special abilities to do excellent work and fulfillment. He's also the co-founder, and we're going to emphasize that co-founding thing. He didn't do it all by himself, kids. He is the co-founder of 3 social impact organizations: Promo Kitchen, Promo Cares, Reciprocity Road. Let's make it 4. And Operation Smiles, international student programs. He is married and with 2 teenage daughters that have come to grips with the idea that well-behaved, and he's come to grips with the fact that well-behaved women rarely make history. His family recently started an unlicensed music venue in their backyard to support local musicians. I love that. I think that's kind of fake news, but it's funny anyway. Please
It's
join
true.
me in welcoming, please join me in welcoming the one, the only, Danny Rosin. Danny, It's taken 24 episodes to get you here. You're a hard get. I've asked at least 0 times, so thank you for finally agreeing to do it.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Bill. I have been waiting on the sidelines, listening to everyone, and I can't wait to hear my own voice on this episode. I appreciate the invitation. It took you damn long enough.
It did. Do we share where you listen to the podcast, or do we just leave that
I think we
alone?
fast forward that button.
Okay, fantastic. Now, I believe you have a topic for me that you and I would like to discuss before I get into some questions, so people can get to know you a little better since you're not very well known in the industry.
Yeah, I have a great question for you. I hope you'll like it. I'm thinking about your session at Expo. It was overbooked this year,
Hmm.
wall to wall people. Put a big smile on my face because it's clear that you have become one of the most sought after speakers in the industry, which I think that's awesome. Big tribute to you. A lot of work through the years. This tells me that, a couple things, but one is that the industry is craving education. And I think we both agree that the people, and in particular the salespeople in our industry, need to kind of flex their confidence muscle a little bit more. They need to articulate the power of our medium in different ways and sell strategically and with passion. And so, I think being really effective as a salesperson, you need to have really good presentation skills. And so you're like our industry's like Simon Sinek. Big compliment, and your head's getting big. Slow down. You're not going to get out of the room. Um, my question for you is around this
Yeah.
presentation question for
Okay.
salespeople. What advice do you have for salespeople to become better presenters so they can win over more fans and build a stronger book of business?
Okay. First of all, thank you for the compliment on my expo session. I distinctly remember you walking in, breaking in because they weren't allowing people in, but you said, "Hey,
Truth.
promo superstar coming through," and somehow got in. But I remember somehow you got the 10-minute warning sign, and as I'm trying to present and focus on my presentation, you're prancing back there and dancing and trying to distract me, which honestly I love and I would expect nothing less. One of the things I've learned from you over the years is never pass up an opportunity to create a little mischief, and so you had it. To your question. And to be fair, you did provide this to me in advance, so I did prepare a little bit for it. I'm transparent that way. I came up with 5 things. Number one is active listening. I see so many salespeople, they're presenting solutions first without really understanding what problem you're trying to solve. And I think that's where so many sales presentations, that's where so many sales conversations go off the rails when you're trying to solve a problem when you really don't even understand what the challenge is, who's the target audience, what does that target audience expect from an experiential perspective, what do you want people to do with the merchandise once they receive it. You really need to understand that. So, you use the term sales presentation. I think I prefer the term sales conversation because you
Mm,
really have to have to create effective branded merchandise. You have to have a conversation. Anybody in this industry, any distributor, we can all slap logos on stuff. We can all ship it out. The suppliers will do a great job decorating it. Everybody is amazing at invoicing in this industry. Nothing in that stands out. You have to try to have a sales conversation. So number one is that active listening. Number two is have confidence. It sometimes feels weird presenting or starting a conversation like that.
mhm.
But I think, I had my first sales manager told me, and I was selling temporary help at the time, if you can imagine. And I felt I would go into these offices and I talk to human resource managers. I'm thinking, I'm not, I shouldn't be here. And so in our industry, the correlation is so many people are speaking to marketing managers and they feel like I'm not a marketer. I don't know what I'm talking about. But what you need to understand is when you walk into that room, 9 times out of 10, you are the expert when it comes to using merchandise to communicate a marketing message. You are the expert. They're looking to you and be comfortable in that confidence to understand that. Three, be vulnerable. That's something you and I talk about. I think I've learned, quite frankly, a lot of that from you. You used to tell me vulnerable is the new sexy. I'll never forget that. See, I have all sorts of Danny Rosenisms. But it's true. You're never going to be perfect. Laugh when you fumble words. I don't think you saw this. I think you're aware, though. I had some real issues during my PPAI presentation. I had 2 slide advancers that weren't working. You're standing on stage in front of 400 people. and it's not your fault, but you're the focal point and it's awkward. So being me, I just called it out and everybody laughed. It was fun. It was just, don't ignore when you screw up. It's okay. So be vulnerable. Number four, and this is something I really wish every salesperson would do in our industry, is start thinking like a marketer. Do not lead with merchandise. Do not. Think about what is the best vehicle for your prospect, client, partner, whatever you want to call them, to get their message across to accomplish their goals. Don't lead with merchandise. Anybody can do that. Again, if they need someone to lead with merchandise, they're happy to go to 4imprint and figure it out themselves. Built
Yeah,
for it.
great
So,
answers.
so you specialize in understanding the challenge and then finding the right merchandise vehicle that will yield the greatest results. You have to think like a marketer. And then the fifth one is, and this is one I think that's very difficult for salespeople, is honesty and integrity.
Mm.
Not that people aren't honest, but I think so often as salespeople, we're conditioned to learn, say yes, and figure it out later. I think that's absolutely wrong because there's sometimes where clients don't understand some of the constraints we might have in the industry. Maybe it's due to tariffs, maybe it's due to shipping issues from China, maybe it's due to whatever. But I see so many salespeople say yes to a ridiculous request for a fast turnaround only to get burned. And now that's who you are. You're the guy who overpromises and underdelivers. So if you can't do something, be upfront. Say, unfortunately, I don't think I can commit to that. Let me look. I can see if I can, but I can't give you an immediate answer right now. Number two, sometimes, as much as it breaks my merchandising heart, sometimes promo is not the right vehicle for the problem they're trying to solve. And when that's the case, be honest, say, you know what? I think your money would be better spent if we did this. I'd rather work on a project with you where effective, decorated nuggets of awesomeness are going to solve your challenge. I don't think that's the case here. I will tell you, you talk about building a long lasting relationship, you immediately establish credibility, you immediately establish trust. So, honesty and integrity, those are the five things I came up with about 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, that's incredible. I was thinking as you went through them all, I was like, check, check, check. I would add one more, and I think you kind of hit on a little bit around the discovery process. Really understanding
Yeah.
your customer and their needs, and thinking about stories you can tell around projects or campaigns you've worked on that kind of
Yeah.
lead into a little bit of trust, building trust around what you've done in the past. But I think
Yeah.
asking a customer what they want to get out of the meeting, the
Hmm.
presentation, and catering to that, and also asking, can you share like a permission based kind of setup for a presentation, blank, blank, and blank, which I think helps as well.
Absolutely.
Great answer, man. Great, great
Well,
answer.
I love your addition. I'm going to add one, kind of one that I've used to use and I still like using with new clients that I have here at Brandivate is, and you can do this for the meeting or you can do this for the project. If you don't mind, explain to me how you would define success in 6 months.
Hmm.
What does success look like? You could do the same thing for the meeting. Hey, I know we're about to meet here. What would you walk away from this meeting where you felt it was successful? It's okay to ask those questions.
Yeah. What would be the headline news
There you
article that,
go.
that we'd write? Yeah. Let's write that together. Yeah.
Well, let's make a little news because Danny, I'd like to get to know you a little better. I don't know you very well at all. We've spent no time together. So, question number one, Donnie, let's get right to it. You coined the term brand fill. That's the kind of spicy, no mercy judgment on some of the products sold in our industry. So tell me, what specific object made you finally snap? Was it the 7,000 stress ball shaped like a brain, a foam finger you found at the dentist's office, a tape measure printed with the phrase, think big?
It's funny. I have a stress reliever here in
I
my.
can't believe you have a stress ball.
I have several. Wait, hide the logo. Hide the logo. Yeah, I use them for props and moments like this. But thanks
Okay.
for asking that question, Will. Um, First, I get to say that I may have popularized the term brand fill, but a good friend and creative visionary who you may know, Jamie Mayer, coined the term.
Mhm.
And so, we like to say, to our customers, would you rather have brand fill or brand fuel? And it kind of works pretty well. I know, cheesy. Stop. Okay.
No, hey, sometimes cheese works because we all make fun of dad jokes and stuff like
Yeah.
that, but it's disarming. It's charming. It
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. For sure. For sure. You mentioned tape measures. I want to
Yeah.
tell you, we ran a tongue-in-cheek marketing campaign during COVID with a promotion for 6 foot keep your distance and save lives tape measures, which was, again, tongue-in-cheek, maybe not appropriate, but we got some laughs during a tough time. And also we were kind of, it was a little bit of a PSA, right?
Absolutely. Humor wins. Humor
Yeah, humor
always
wins.
wins.
And I was thinking of another one too. There's one where we ran an ad um, campaign where there was like a foam stress reliever on one side next to a picture of when fitness bands were really big, a fitness band, and it said
Mhm.
something like "True wellness is a choice." So I think we've embraced the fact that there's a lot of junk in our industry, and that it's a privilege, and I would also say a moral imperative for us to help our clients get to the good stuff. And
Agreed.
yeah, there's more and more good stuff. Like it's
Yeah,
coming in droves. So big shout out to our suppliers. I mean, they're investing in R&D. They're
absolutely.
creating alliances with retailers, and so retail brands coming in, I think, are great. And then the last thing I was thinking about, this just came out. Rachel from PPAI put a post on her LinkedIn, and I think it'll come out in PPAI News. This was news to me, but have you ever heard of EPR, another acronym? I know you love them.
I
EPR.
do.
Yep. Oh, you do? You know EPR?
Excellent Petrie recording.
That's good, but wrong. Sorry. Somebody's
Wrong.
wrong. Um, EPA stands for Extended Producer Responsibility. And it's basically compliance related to packaging, which we all know. I mean, think about Amazon, but also our industry, lots of packaging. And so the idea is that if your business puts packaging materials in the world, it should bear some responsibility to keep it out of the landfill and to recycle it. And I think that's
I
kind of
love that.
interesting to see what happens there. There'll be legislation. We'll be talking about it.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Oh, great answer. Great answer. All right, Duncan. Between Promo Kitchen, Promo Cares band together, and whatever noble cause you'll launch before tomorrow before breakfast, have you ever paused and thought, "Wait, am I just an unpaid intern in my own life?" Like at this point, do you even remember what a normal Saturday looks like, and doesn't involve a board meeting, a fundraiser, or making the world a better place, one branded T-shirt at a time?
I feel like there are these like little jabs, but like you're hugging me at the same time. It's a very awkward feeling right now. Um, oh my gosh. Um, well, let me throw it back at you. I'll just send you a direct hug because
Okay.
you mentioned organizations that you are a big part of this success for. I mean, you're on the initial Promo Cares board, massive Promo Kitchen. I think a two-time board member, if I
Yep.
remember. I
Yep.
don't think you got fired. I think you left yourself, and like in a
Yep.
really smart way, left it better than you found it. And you've come to all these band together shows and been a supporter all along. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Of course.
Um, I think you and I share a passion for helping others and serving communities, whether it's in the industry or in our backyards. And when giving aligns with marketing, I think the sparks fly. And so I've been really lucky to be a part of those things where those connections happen. Um, I think if you add music and family into that mix, we've got this like triple Lindy, like grand slam, turn
Yeah.
it up to 11 situation. So I don't think any time in our lives will we ever look back and think, I wish we had given less to those in need. I
Yeah.
wish I had, gone to fewer concerts. Um,
Yeah.
I love the work that we do as a B Corp that Brainfield does in the industry,
Mhm.
where we're getting to support nonprofits through volunteerism and leadership. And most importantly, I think obviously we're using our medium as I don't know, we're using it as a tool to help nonprofits raise money and awareness. And I just say like more of that, please, in our industry.
Yeah. I agree with you. If I can just add, which I'm going to, it's my podcast, so there you go. Um, I I am a serial give backer as well. Sometimes, I say yes too much and you put too much on my own plate. But when I think about it, not that I'm purposely trying to build a legacy, but someday I will not be here. Someday I will die. We will all die, and the legacy you leave to me is paved with the people you've been able and organizations you've been able to help, the way you've been able to help. So I that's why I find, I think you probably feel the same way. It's just
Yes.
it's part
Leave
it's
it better to be
part of
found.
the it's part of the runt, rent, runt. part of the rent of living life, in my opinion, to live a purposeful
Agree.
life. Okay,
Agree.
now we're going to dispense with the comedy here. This is going to be a serious question. I'm going to
Okay.
break format. I am going to ask something real here because I've truly wondered this myself. Has your drive to serve, whether it's through Band Together, Brand Fuel, Promo Cares, or every single PPI committee you've ever been a part of, including being on the board, has that ever come a cost at a cost to your family? And how do you reconcile that?
Oh my gosh. The short answer is yes. Reconciliation happens like every day. First, I think like thank you for having the cojones, the cajonas, the California Jones to
The
ask.
onions.
Yeah, those for asking this like very um, important question because I think a lot of people ask themselves this question that you're asking me. On one hand, I think I can say I'm really proud to have a 25-year partnership with my wife, Nicole. I have a 27-year partnership and 42-year friendship with my business partner, Robert Fiveash, who's my
Bobby
friend and
Five.
co-owner with
Mhm.
Bobby of Brand Fuel. And I think I'm self-aware enough to realize that I am because of them. Um, Nothing, and I mean like literally nothing. You mentioned like everything I've ever
Mhm.
done as co-founder, all of it across the board in my life. Nothing great in my life, my adult life, would have happened without their understanding, their patience, their trust, selflessness. I mean, and above
Mhm.
all, love. And I can say that I love them both, and I love Robert. It sounds weird to say man stuff, but I love that
It
guy.
does not.
Yeah, good.
It
I
does
think we
not
need
at
more
all.
men saying that.
I
Those
say it to
people,
people all the time because
yeah,
when I mean it. Yeah.
yeah. And the ripple effect from the comfort that you give someone, another man saying that, to ripple it forward is really important. They've made great sacrifices to help this short man stand tall, and I've raised millions of dollars through the years for nonprofits, but my biggest donors are my family and of course Robert. And so it's a work in progress, man. It is a sore spot in those relationships, but also I think hopefully I'm getting better at it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
it can
cry.
be.
It's supposed to be funny,
No,
man.
I know. It can be a friction point, though. I mean, I find the same thing. I sometimes overcommit myself, whether it's Brand of Eight, promulgations, and then uh, serving on committees, whether it's GRAC right now or some of the other ones. And, it comes to a point where it's like, I know what I do, and I've had to do this week. I've had to kind of take a deep breath, realize my son is home. He found a job. I'll talk about that at another time. And so we're in the process next week of moving him to his new home. And so it's time I didn't budget for. And so now everything, you feel this weight of I have to perform, I have to get things done. And I've done this several times now over the last week or so. I have just paused and said, you know what? It will get done. And if it doesn't, life will go on. The focus needs to be on Mitch, needs to be on his moment where he's going to a new city, he doesn't know anybody, and is going to build a new life, and that's scary and exciting and all those things. So I've
Mhm.
had to do that too. So well, your answer really resonated with me, and it's a self check I have to do. Okay, let's get back to the comedy. All right, Doug, you're about to step into one of the most high-profile roles in the industry as the board chair of PPAI, which, if you don't know, stands for Promotional Products Association International. On a scale of 1 to, I've been planning my reign of terror for years. How ready are you? And seriously, what's the one thing you want to accomplish during your time as chair that will make you proud when you hand the gavel off in 2027?
Oh my gosh, what a great question, Tim. Um, that's funny too. Yeah, I have like Sasquatch size shoes to fill after Denise and Mary Jo and Andrew and Kevin and Dawn and Brittany and Tom and Todd
Yeah.
and Ira, who I served with the first go around during COVID. Oh my God, what a time. So I think beyond carrying on the work of Denise the current board chair, who's doing incredible
Yeah,
work.
absolutely. Love
Yeah,
Denise. Denise, big
yeah.
fan.
And
Big
I think
fan.
we are aligned in the world of like social compliance, product responsibility,
Both
advocacy
B
for the
corporations.
industry. All that's right. And
Yeah.
they get Fairware gets major props. I mean, they were way ahead of the game there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we applied 2 years after they did and failed miserably. It took us 10 years to earn the certification. And so, yeah, really proud of what she's doing. So I think there'll be continuity there because we are like-minded in that way.
Mhm.
We have a new strategic plan that I get to kick into gear. That's really exciting. So if
That's fun.
any of your three listeners has any big ideas for PPAI, please share them. I also believe, like for me, I believe in the power of the word with.
Mhm.
How can we as an industry, be more open source minded? Um, can we work with the American Marketing Association more? Can we create alliances to make our medium even more relevant through retailers, through Etsy or Made Trade, which focuses on ethical good from diverse makers, for example? So I think some of those things will be really focused in hopefully the strategic plan, and I'll be able to leverage and lead in that way going into my year as president.
Well, I'm excited for that, knowing you and knowing, where your heart is. I'm excited. And you and I have talked privately many times about how we wish this industry was more open-minded and more collaborative, collaboration over competition. I know we've had that conversation. So I
Yep.
love the fact that's part of the vision. All right. Last question, Duncan. Your love of music, it's not just a hobby. It's the heartbeat of every single thing that you do. Uh, in fact, it's one of the things that you and I have absolutely bonded over together on over the years. What's the last show that absolutely destroyed you in the best way?
Oh, that's a great question. I love that question. And there's so many answers, but you said last show, so I'll stick to that. I
The last
also big
show.
shout out to American Aquarium over your shoulder, Raleigh-based
Yep.
band who we both love so much. There you go. Um, Man, live music, it just nourishes the soul. It's spiritual, Um, it's like one of those places where you find your people wearing their favorite band T-shirt. Bringing it back to merch. You know what I'm
But
talking about?
it's still it's like the last communal experience other than sports. I mean, I think we've lost movies for the
Mm,
most part as a communal experience. There are times, but as a thing to do on a regular basis, we've lost that. But
yeah,
concerts and sports, I don't know what else there is.
yeah. Socially, I think professionally, you've got all kinds of
Well, yeah,
networking.
I'm talking socially. Talking about
Yeah,
socially.
yeah. That's a good point.
So
Uh,
what's the last
Yeah,
show, Danny?
yeah. A couple weeks ago, I got a tip from a friend about a new band. I'm all about music discovery, so I was like, "All right, I'll go
Mhm.
check it out." It was on a whim. I literally lost my hearing for a couple of days after witnessing the very original and improvisational music of a band called Takat, Takaat. Have you heard of them?
No, I'm writing it down right now because I get actually you've turned me on to a lot of bands, American Aquarium being one of them.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't, listening to, yeah. Let me know what you think. But
Yeah, I would
they
be.
are the backing band of a guy named Mdu Mokhtar, who is this Tuareg Nigerian like mastermind guitarist who I've also seen. And the music is kind of like if punk rock and like jammy African vibe music kind of had a baby.
Yeah,
And going to see the show, it was loud. Wear earplugs. I don't think they should give
clearly.
earplug. Yeah, they should like give branded earplugs out when you show
Yeah,
up. Missed opportunity. I might give them a call after this. But I felt like I was in a basement,
yeah,
and I was with my friends hearing something insanely special for the first time.
I
And
love that.
yeah, it's like a Fugazi show or something like that. It's so cool. Anyway,
Love that.
that's it.
Great answer. Great answer. I love it. All
Thanks,
right. Well, I
Will.
can't thank you. And oh, I'm sorry.
Oh God.
I have a rapid fire for you. Apparently, thank you very much. Somebody just handed me a rapid fire. I think you know how this works. Hey, I am number one. Danny, you're using the wrong finger. So quick rapid fire just for the people who don't understand how this works. I just want an either or. There's really no wrong answers just to help us get to know Danny a little bit better. So let's start off. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Excellent. Duke or the University of North Carolina?
UNC.
See, you're killing it already.
Yeah.
See how easy this is?
Rails.
All
This
right.
is easy.
More emotionally draining, throwing a benefit concert or attending a 3-hour PPAI bylaws meeting.
The concert.
Okay. Let's talk food. You're a Carolina guy. Carolina whole hog barbecue or a low country boil.
Oh man, I gotta get whole hog.
Okay. Okay. This is for your brother. David Lee Roth or Sammy Hagar.
David Lee Roth.
Okay. Physical records
Yeah,
or streamed music.
yeah, physical records.
Okay. Last one. See, you're doing great. I mean, I used to have a podcast partner whose name I can't recall, Kevin, something like that. And we would play this game and there were no wrong answers. And every time he got wrong answers. It's crazy.
I remember.
Anyway, last one, Joey Ramone or Elvis Aaron Presley.
Oh God, that's mean.
It is me.
I'm going with Elvis.
I love that answer. See, you're the first person that's ever gotten all of them right. I'll tell you what else is right, Danny, is our good friends over at Bell Promo. Lowest minimums in the industry, deepest inventory around, 5-star A+ service, 2-day production on most of their products. Hell yes, you can Bell Promo the crap out of all of those, and they'll be happy that you do. Check out everything they're doing, even USA made merch. Some really great stuff happening at Bell Promo. So head over to bellpromo.com. I doubt you'll be sorry you did. Uh, Donnie, I was actually going to try to not do that. Danny, thanks so much. This is fun. Always great to talk to you. We don't talk enough. We don't spend enough time together. I really appreciate you doing this. We'll have to do it again sometime.
Yeah, love you, Bill.
Love you, buddy. Thank you.